Hello, this is Michael Tellinger, and it gives me great pleasure today to introduce another great ambassador for the One Small Town initiative. And this time it's our French ambassador for One Small Town, my very good friend, Cüneyt Alkan, who I had the great pleasure of meeting here in South Africa. Welcome, Cuneyt.
Thank you, Michael. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to be here because it's something big we cannot imagine, but it's something good. It's happening. And to here, we are not alone, but so many ambassadors around many countries. It's giving me so many smiles, so many punch to more go through obstacles and make One Small Town real.
Well, I just want to say that, first of all, the reason I'm excited about Cuneyt and the French group that you have put around you, first of all, you've done so much already. You created the French Ubuntu Planet website, the One Small Town website. You've put up a news page and a Facebook page. You've really been initiating things on your own. You translated the Ubuntu book into French. I mean, your team has just been so active and so proactive. It just brings so much joy to my heart. And on top of that, I mean, you're not even 30. How old are you, Cuneyt, if I can ask?
Yeah, I have 26.
You're 26?
Yeah.
So, you know, this is fantastic because you're an inspiration for other young people to really lead by example, because for some reason, there are a lot of people that are more mature in years that are being attracted to One Small Town and the Ubuntu movement. And in France, we have you and your team, which is a bunch of youngsters, which is just fantastic, so exciting.
Yeah, we are. Yes, I have a very good team. I want to thank them because they bring us some good tools, good ways to translate quickly, to translate directly. When you are publishing a video, just a week later, it's already translated. So I want to thank them, and I'd like to share why I love Ubuntu philosophy, because on my past, when I was young, I was engaged in politics. And I was so frustrated to not have any good solution to everyone. And I find some solution. Okay, trust is a good point. We need to share something. We need to share knowledge. But no, any party are offering these opportunities, this vision. It's a very lack of ambition. And so I decided to go in businesses. I launched so different companies, some projects in different kind of project in fitness, healthy, in building. So I made companies, I closed, I bankrupt some companies. So I have a lot of experiment in a business world. And when I found randomly your video in interview, I said, wow, what these guys are saying. I didn't understand anything, but I'm sure there is something big I need to seek. And just the next day, I read all the book in one day, and okay, I just need to meet you. So I take my flight. I come to South Africa to meet you and ask questions. Okay, what we need to do? What can I do in France? So I decided to not wait to someone who is coming to save us, but making our own future, making ourselves. We don't need anyone. We just need to be a group. And what I love the most in Ubuntu, it was because at my youngest age, I was thinking I need to make a lot of money. And if I make big money, I can maybe change the world. But there is some problems because I'm alone. And if people are not ready to change the world, even if I have all the money, I can't change anything. People need to understand. We need to change all of this together, not alone. And when I see Ubuntu and I understand, okay, great, because this changing, it's to all together, not alone. It's not depending about one people's skill. It's not depending about one people's money. It's depending about our determination, about our volunteer, about our vision. And this was very wonderful.
Yeah. You know, Cuneyt, in many ways, you are actually the first ambassador for Ubuntu in One Small Town because of all the work that you did. before I even started thinking about appointing One Small Town ambassadors. So you really were right ahead and way ahead of everybody else, even ahead of me. So thank you very much for your contribution and for your input and your passion, and the fact that you're young and you've got experience in business, which is really important, so that people realize this is not about a bunch of hippies growing some food on a piece of land. And I say this with love in my heart for people that are hippies. Many of my friends are hippies, but this is not what we're doing. You know, we are actually using the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. This is very powerful stuff. We are busy with incredibly important and incredibly powerful stuff here. And the fact that you're young, you are determined. I mean, you flew all the way to South Africa just to meet me, to ask me to travel around Southern Africa on one of our sacred sites tours, so you could ask me questions about Ubuntu and One Small Town. Now that for me is real determination, you know.
And not only in South Africa, because before to meet you, I decided to travel in Thailand, in Morocco, in Norway, to meet people and ask them the question you ask to everyone. Would you like to change the world? Are you happy with that? I say, okay, I don't want to be stupid. I want to try what he said. So I'm going to meet people. I met maybe 300 people in 2 months. I talk them slowly, but slowly I introduce Ubuntu. And when I am talking about Ubuntu, there are some lighting in their eyes as I say, oh my God, it's really something, it's really something interesting. And it's when I say to my team, I always say them, repeat the message, transmit the message, spread the seed, because not for them, but for you. Because when you'll see some people who are any motivation in their life and they discover Ubuntu philosophy, suddenly they're becoming a leader, a big leader. And it was my huge surprise. Some people are very introversion, shy. And when they heard about Ubuntu, they become a big leader and say, wow, my God, I need just to share with a maximum of people and find these sleeping leaders. And the best way, if I have an advice with my small experiment with Ubuntu, if I have an advice for other ambassadors or other contributors, it's share the vision. As you said, share the vision. You need to embrace fully in your body, in all your cells, the vision. And when you are transmitting the vision, people not understanding everything, but they are understanding they can do something. And this is very important.
That is absolutely important, to go out and tell everyone. And what I love about what you're saying is that when people do discover the Ubuntu message and the One Small Town philosophy, it liberates them. They feel a sense of liberation and they're being freed from a lifelong imprisonment. And suddenly, as you say, they suddenly find a new passion and a new ability and a new focus. And they turn from being introvert, as you mentioned, to becoming leaders. And so many people are experiencing that kind of emotion and energy that flows through them. So what I also want to say to those that are watching this, the important contribution that you've also made is that you've actually gone out and you've drawn up some accounting and business plans.
Yes.
It's your business plans, because you're a businessman, you're a successful guy, and you understand business and you understand how to do business plans. By your own admission, you went and did a number of business plans and compared a normal capitalist business model to a contributionism, One Small Town business model. And you found the contribution One Small Town model to be very much more powerful and profitable than the other one. Tell us a bit more about that experience.
Yes, it was when I read the book, the next step was, okay, now let's calculate if it's really possible to get more money with Ubuntu against capitalist society model. And I tried for something we find everywhere in France with a bakery. And I said, okay, what is the cost for one bread in France? And for one bread we sell for one euros, we have only 8% of benefits. And into a Ubuntu society, if we join all the bakery owners, all the contributors, all the ingredients, all the supply, and we give really 1/3 and just sell the other 2/3 to other towns, to other bakery competitors. We can sell not €1 our bread, but at 50 cents, and we are earning 33 cents. We are earning 4 times more to selling two times less cheaper. And when I calculate this for 1 year, I realized we can, for a 5,000 one small town, we can generate 1,050,000 revenue. I get out the expenses. We have almost 350,000 expenses, and it's very huge because there is no bakery in France in small towns who are making so much money. If, for example, there are 4 bakeries who are competing between them, who are taking together them, they are earning 3 times more money. Even they are the investors, they are contributing their all resource, material resource into the small town Ubuntu bakery. They are working 3 times less, and they are 4 times less, and they are making 3 times more money. So it's very huge. And I just try to calculate also for vegetables, and I directly stop because it's very so huge. People will not believe it. It's going so fast. I say, okay, just calm down, slow down. And I take the example you said as in your video. If we multiply to 50 projects, maybe some project will not generate any revenue, but some other project will generate so much money, and we can make 75 billion revenue in one small town in just the first or second year. And the budget of my town, it's 8 million euros, not 75. 75, one third, so 25. So it's 25 million just for a small town. So we can do anything we want. We can make the best hospital. We can make really everything we want. We can just pay people to clean all the streets because we have enough money to do it. We don't need to think about if it's profitable or not. And that it was my pragmatical discovery. And when I'm talking, I'm showing Ubuntu one small town for the anecdote. When I'm showing small town to hippie people, or open-minded spiritual people, they are not understanding fastly. But when I'm showing this to capitalist investors or business owners, they say, "Wow, I never think it was possible." They directly understand. They don't need to talk more about but there is no but if with them. They directly understand, and they say, "Okay, I will follow you if you start somewhere," and it's very fascinating.
So that is really important. What you just said there, Cuneyt, is that, remember, what you just said there is actually a great example how we use the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation, and how money and capitalism will be the thing that funds one small town, and the greed of capitalism, the greed of investors, although they might be humanitarian investors, they might have good intent, but it's still ultimately they want to make a profit. Otherwise, they're not going to invest. So
everyone has an interest. It's
exactly. So
as I said, you can
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, when I do my conference, I explain because everyone seeking his own interest, and Ubuntu answering to interest of everyone without any exception. It's why it's a very strong and powerful strategy. One small town.
So what we're going to do now is translate your French business plans into English and put them up on the internet so everybody can see the business models and see how profitable they are. And I was just doing some numbers and some research as well into the profitability, gross profits of big corporations and so forth. And it's just incredible how small the profit margins are of big companies. And when you take that, most of the expenses are in the labor costs. That's one of the biggest benefits that the investors get, is the free labor from the that they invest in. And so, as you said, when you show this to business people and investors, and they see the numbers and they see the business model, that you don't have to explain anything to them. The money and the numbers will convince them to invest in this. And
Absolutely.
this is why I have no doubt in my mind that the moment we succeed in one small town model, even just putting the business plans together and putting them on the website, putting them on the One Small Town website for that particular town, and say, these are the businesses that we've identified for this town. These are the businesses as opportunities for investors. I think it's going to become a stampede. And I do believe, as I've always believed for a long, long time now, that the moment the first One Small Town model creates an awareness out there, we're going to see a stampede of investors finding small towns that they can be the first investor in that small town before somebody else gets there. And we're going to see a huge explosion of the success and the rebuilding and the rejuvenation of our small towns around the world. And we better do this quickly before the global elite destroy our countries with the current madness that we're in. So time is of the essence here.
Yes, I'd like to add something about investors, because so many people believing if you are investors, you are depending from investors. It's absolutely false. When I'm advising I'm consulting for consultants for companies, investors, they just want earn money. So you can negotiate at the first step. Okay, when we will give you all your money with 10% of benefits in 1 or 2 or 3 years, doesn't matter. You will go out, and then we'll get back full 100% of benefits for Ubuntu Town. And the second effect we don't calculate, it's the first years we will need investors, but so the second years will be fully independent because we have already the money to finance our own projects. And the investor is just a starting point. And it's as a starting point. It's not we don't really need them, but it's a good starting point to help to go more faster. It's very important because I have so many people, they say, okay, there is still investors, they will get the control of Ubuntu. It's false. They cannot get control. You can negotiate all of these conditions, all of this term at the first step, at the first meeting.
So this is what I call the cornerstone, the first initial cornerstone investments. Because after those are done and the town is making a lot of money and profits, then we no longer need any further investors because we will have enough money in our town to fund any other future projects. And this is really important. And that's why I say that there'll be a stampede of investors into small towns to be the first investors, because after the first cornerstone investments have been funded, the town is not going to need any more investors. So the guys with money are going to be trying to find small towns that they can take control of, benefit from it while they're bringing the benefit and making the community the majority share owners of all the businesses that they are funding from outside. It's a beautiful model. It's poetic justice in its most beautiful stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I'm so happy to talk about this.
So Cuneyt, listen, first of all, thank you very much for everything you've done already. And thank you for agreeing to play the role of the One Small Town ambassador in France. I mean, you've already been playing that role, but now we're going to make it official so that we start promoting you and your very clear vision, and hopefully get France motivated and activated, especially now with the crazy stuff that's going on there, just like the crazy stuff that's going on all over the world. In my country, South Africa, it's just ridiculous what's going on here right now. And it just shows you how good the global elite is at divide and conquer, how they can divide people. And the moment we launch One Small Town, people will focus on this as a solution. So the One Small Town model is a solution for the problems that we face in the world today, very, very quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure about it.
So is there anything you want to say as your parting words, as your introduction parting words here today?
No, I just want to share, as I said, each time at the end of each conference, read the message, spread the message, spread the message. I estimated every 1,000 people who see in Ubuntu, you will get 1 leader. So you want 10 leaders, so share 10,000 times the video, the message, because it's we just need to reach a critical mass of people, and when we'll just reach it, it will be unstoppable. So just share the message, plant the seed. It will grow up one day, but share this message. continuously. Sometimes in some countries, it will not be evolving fastly, but if it's evolving slowly and you are showing the message, one day it will be just go very fast, as you cannot imagine. We are actually just be contacted from different initiatives. We have some 100 people, towns who are just working, people who are living in 100 towns are just working together, some local projects, and they just want, they contact me, they'd like to implement the Ubuntu philosophy into their project. So we have so many contacts everywhere. We are just trying to find a better organization to help them, but it's going up, it's coming, we cannot stop it.
Yeah, fantastic, awesome. Cuneyt, thank you very much for the positive news, and thank you, and I look forward to our next conversation and an update from you what's happening in France and the One Small Town initiative. Until later, bye for now.
Bye.